Van Nuys Towers, helicopter 23, Victor Hotel, northwest corner. Request departure, Balboa, with whiskey.
Yep.
Van Nuys Tower, this is helicopter 23, Victor Hotel, northwest corner. Request departure, Balboa, with whiskey.
23 Victor Hotel, going to start taking your position?
Northwest corner.
3 Victor Hotel, depart the northwest corner at your own risk, Balboa departure approved.
Departure approved, 23 Victor Hotel.
Okay, so pick us up and get us out to the ramp.
Niner Tango Alpha, runway 16 left, clear for takeoff. Fire 1 traffic is a Bonanza descending on the Burbank localizer just over top of the airport.
Fire 1.
Knocking the rust off, right? Just go ahead and walk us out to where the white sign is. Then take us out to the ramp, make us face west.
Alright, Fire 1, complete that station, I'll over to Burbank. Thanks for your help.
Fire 1, before you go, travel about a mile east of the City Hall is a TV helicopter.
Over the solid line.
400 and frequency change proof.
Okay, Fire 1 has traffic, thanks for
Okay.
Go for it, yeah.
Yep, go. On the way we go.
Oh, Rupe today.
Try to fly more between the buildings and stuff.
Okay, are we going up to the right here, yeah?
Yeah, we're going off to the right. So that way, if something happens, you're not going into the building.
Yeah.
Van Nuys Tower, TV11, just south of OGM plant. Thanks for proceed inbound, stag line in northeast corner with whiskey.
TV11, Van Nuys Tower, approved as requested.
Roger on.
Alright, we're settled in the air, trim, right? Gauge are all still looking good. Feels good not to be facing the sun anymore.
Yeah. Getting a sweat on there.
That's Niner Tango Alpha, 16 left.
So hold this a little bit longer. Don't climb up too quick.
Okay.
You want to be about 1500 where the
traffic, 12 o'clock and
where the freeway is.
The pattern, they'll be landing on the left runway.
Roger, got him in sight, we'll maintain vision.
Just so that way we stay out of the airplane traffic.
Taxiway, Bravo, Bravo 1.
Bravo, Bravo 1, clear line, TV11.
How's it feel?
I'd be comfortable, yeah. Everything's just, I'll take a bit for the rain just to...
I know, it's been a few days, that's why I was just kind of asking.
We didn't crash, so that's good.
Yes. They can still use me for relief later on today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other company would have been real upset with you. Kids were all playing with your alarm clock last night?
What's that, sorry?
The kids were playing with the alarm clock last night?
Yeah.
Alright. Carby.
Yeah.
We want it to stay out of the yellow, but when there's for the most part, try to keep it above 10. So go ahead and raise a little carb, just a little bit. Yeah, when there's visible moisture, especially when there's visible moisture, you want to try to keep it above 10.
Sure.
Alright, let's try to have you hold a steady 75 and climb with the terrain. In fact, stay 75, climb with the train, and hold the heading of 350, which is the one just on the left side of the N. And what you do pretty much, if you're facing that heading, find a spot in front of you, like maybe the peak on top of that hill that's right in front of us, and just head towards that. That'll pretty much help keep you, or maybe a little left or something. And then, like, once you're lined up and you find a spot and you just head towards that spot, it'll help pretty much you stay on that heading.
TV11, Roger, still clear to land, thanks, Bravo.
Bravo, clear land, thanks, TV11.
Go ahead and ask for a frequency change.
What was that, sorry?
Go ahead and ask for a frequency change.
Van Nuys Towers, 23 Victor Hotel, request frequency change.
3 Victor Hotel, before you go, there is traffic at about 1 o'clock and a mile and a half, but just on the east side of the San Fernando Reservoir. Type's unknown, altitude indicates 1,600. Probably a helicopter.
Tell I'm looking.
Looking, 23 Victor Hotel.
Less than 9 Tango Alpha, contact.
Okay, so now you're going to say 23 Victor Hotel, just west of the San Fernando Reservoir, northbound at 1.9.
23 Victor Hotel, west of the San Fernando Reservoir, northbound at 1900. 1.9.
Whatever comes out more flowing.
Be 6 ahead of you, going off to the New Old Pass here at 1900.
Tell them we're looking for you.
We're looking for you, 23 Victor Hotel.
Right over the Cascades here on the east side.
Copy that, we're staying on the west side, just heading north. Alright, still holding 75, take us up to 80. And then we're going to go out to the Pico Plateau area. The Pico Wash area. Do you know what this pass is called?
This is New Hill Pass.
Yep. Do you know what that dump's called?
No.
It's called the Sunshine Dump. Sometimes they use that as a reporting point. Do you know what freeway is going off to the right?
Is that the port?
Say it. Say it.
14.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you started to say 14. And
I know, my mic cut out.
Oh. Yeah, and sometimes you just gotta talk a little louder. Yeah, but yeah, that is the 14. So you can say, 23 Victor Hotel, either New Hall Pass, Sunshine Dump, or 514 Split. Those are all three options you can use. Heading northbound at 2000.
23 Victor Hotel, New Hall Pass, northbound 2000.
Okay. Going through here, you're pretty clear, but if you ever go through a canyon that you're not familiar with, it's always good to be just above the top of the ridges.
Okay.
That way you know there's no wires going across. Or if you see any towers, you need to be above the highest tower.
Yeah.
Number one killer of helicopter pilots, man, wires. And it's because of things like this.
Yeah.
We kind of lost our speed there a little bit though, huh?
Yeah.
And you can pull, remember, with me you can pull more than 20. 22 is fine. The examiner's going to be like, what the fuck are you pulling 20 for? Like, you got power, use it.
Saving fuel.
What?
Saving fuel.
Yeah. I'm being very economical right now, sir. Yeah, so go ahead and just take us out there as quickly as you can get us. Don't descend though. So a lot of times, you'll pull it up to 22, right? You can add a little friction so it stays at 22, and then you don't got to think about it so much. So you stop pushing down on it, bring it up to 22. And then now you make all your altitude climbs and descents with your cyclic. If you want to climb a little bit, just pull back.
Yeah.
You want to go down, push forward. You know, and this way you're using your max amount of power, and you're either using it for speed or altitude change. Go ahead and cut over the peak over to the left.
Stevenson Ranch, yeah?
Yeah. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, today we're going to practice off-airport patterns. Have you ever done any governor off training?
No.
Alright, so now you just got to pay attention to your engine RPMs a little bit, alright?
Yeah.
But as long as you're not yanking and banking, everything's like smooth and controlled, you can, it'll pretty much, there's a piece called the correlator, that does most of the work for you. You just got to make small adjustments.
Okay.
Okay? So, governor is off right now.
Yeah.
So, not only, so go ahead and just continue doing what you're doing, 85. Just kind of watch the RPMs a little bit too as you're going along. It's really simple.
28 Tango Northeast, bound 5 and 126, 2,400.
Go ahead and say Stevenson Ranch.
23 Victor Hotel, Stevenson Ranch, 2,200 westbound.
See how hard this governor off stuff is?
Yeah, but it's not really doing anything just now, is it?
No, I mean, pretty much as long, yeah, your governor failed.
I imagine it's a different story when you get into hovering with the governor off.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, and taking off.
It's such a small range you've got to play with, isn't it?
It is, but it's really not that hard to maintain. But it's one of those things you realize, it's also like, you don't have to freak out. I'm also, don't lower the collective, but I'm going to make the alarm buzz, okay?
Yeah.
But it's still going off, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We're not falling out of the sky, we're not doing anything. You might have to slow your speed down a little bit because we don't have as much RPMs to maintain your altitude. But it's also something to show that you don't have to freak out just because the alarm is going off.
Yeah.
Your initial reaction should definitely be lower that collective, but if you realize your engine's still running, continue flying.
Yeah.
Alright, bring us back up into the green. Alright, I'm going to turn it back on.
Did always wonder about that.
About what?
What happens when you switch it off?
That's it. Huge event, huh? Go over to the right a little bit. Along that ridge line, I saw it right there. Look, check it out to the right. You see down on the ground, the plane wreckage?
Oh, yeah. Crazy.
We'll circle around it on the way back. I don't know what it's there for.
Movie set, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't think it landed there.
I don't know either. It crashed right in that one spot. I'm not sure if it's a Halloween thing or a movie set or what.
Yeah.
Alright, this area, what is it called?
The Pico Plateau.
Yep, so Pico Plateau, westbound at 2000.
23 Victor Hotel, Pico Plateau, westbound 2000.
We'll head out into the wash area a little bit, and then we'll practice some off-airport landings. Or patterns. see we're kind of way up in front of us? Where it's like there's farm, and then on the other side of that little ridge.
It opens out a bit.
What?
Just where it opens out a bit.
Yeah, where it opens out, that's where we're heading.
Okay.
How many kids do you have?
2.
Yeah, all ready for Halloween?
Not really into it.
No? Well, is this their first year out here?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so how can they not be into it or out of it? That's a bunch of freaks. How old are they?
It's not such a big thing in the UK.
Yeah. How old are they?
3 and 5.
See, it's a bunch of free candy for 3 and 5-year-olds. It's more work for you at that age. But they get to dress up. Go ahead and bring us down to 1,800. And every once in a while you hear about some story where some guys, or some rumor where somebody's sticking razor blades in the apples that they, because I guess they used to hand out apples at one time.
Yeah.
Poisoning the candy and stuff.
Have you heard about that? You know, like the sort of hoarder things that you go to in the fairground? Almost like a ghost train type thing.
A hoarder?
Hoarder.
Oh, haunted?
Or haunted house, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the one? I think it's down in San Diego way, maybe not quite that far down.
Go ahead and take us down to about 1,600.
It's like totally insane.
Yeah?
It's free, but you're there for 24 hours, I think, or no, 12 hours. Essentially, you signed a disclaimer that you're not allowed to leave.
And it's free?
It's free, but if you look it up on YouTube, it's...
Okay, slow down. You see where this bend is?
Yes.
I want you to go ahead and drop us down a little bit more, but that's where I'm going to have you land. Or it kind of just curves around like that. So since it's an off-airport landing, you got to figure out where your winds are coming from. It looks like everything's pretty calm. You want to check out your scenery, do a couple of orbits around it, about 55 knots, and you want to be able to look at your landing spot at a 45-degree angle. Okay? So go ahead and move it out a little. You can take us down. We're still pretty high. You're kind of doing 4 things. First one, you want to find out your power and stuff like that, and you would find it face into the wind. And it's called PWAS, P-W-A-S. Find out your power. You find out where your wind is coming from. You're looking for wires. And then after you know where your wind's coming from, you plan out your approach and your abort as the A, and then S. What's the surface area look like? It's kind of dusty down there, or it's dirt. But there's no poles, no fences. So what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and land going into the west. Okay. We looked at it. It looks pretty clean down there, except for the dirt. But there's nothing that'll be obstacles except for some of the bushes.
Yeah.
All right. So I want you to set up a pattern over it. All right.
Okay. So
we're gonna land going west.
Landing in west. So
we gotta turn around.
Yeah.
And I want you to do a complete pattern around it first.
Okay. The thing I can't see is which way the wind's going.
Yeah. No, we're calm right now. Try to figure out about where 500 feet is or so. Pick your upwind. Try to make it as square as possible. Pick your upwind. Figure out when you're going to turn your crosswind. Figure out where you're going to turn your downwind. should be pretty good. Go ahead and turn your crosswind.
I was thinking that dark line that goes between the dark and light field.
Alright. Maintain your altitude. Maintain 65 knots. Good, because I was thinking the road also. Now this is where it's also kind of tricky, is like, you gotta, once you turn this way, and you see your landing spot, and you kind of figured out your path, I mean, you want to follow the road, but try to keep it as rectangle and square as possible. So, you're facing 170 right now, but so go ahead and face, or try 60. You don't want to start curving into the area, you know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah.
And a lot of people have a tendency to start getting closer, which makes it since we were BMR spot, trim down, right? But a lot of people want to start going in, but then that makes your base leg really tight, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Good, leveling it out for a little bit. Go ahead and slow it down a lot more. Go a little more to the left. I want you to avoid that bush. Yeah, you can see where there was a bunch of people already landing out here.
Yeah.
Alright, you see where all those little marks are over there with the skids?
Yeah.
That's going to be our landing spot, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead and move it over to the left. Set it down. Very nice when it's sandy, huh?
It is really nice. I like that.
Alright, you know what that practice is? That's probably somebody practicing hovering autos right there.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pick it up and do the same thing. Do a pattern again. Nice. Clearest path is that direction, so go ahead and head that direction. Trim, right? Trim. Trim. Trim.
Wait, what's he saying? Oh.
hard. You just got to visualize the whole thing in your head.
Yeah, I think when I'm coming in, I start to stress about what speed I'm doing. Like, I don't want to go too low,
Yeah.
obviously. But,
And you were alright. I mean, you were coming in a little quick at first. That's why I kind of just said slow it down. But and remember not to drift in towards your landing spot. You're almost a little better off drifting a little bit out than in, because then that way it allows you more time to set up and stuff like that, right? Good. Yeah, just level it out at least for a split second, so that way, you know, they know you're squaring it off. Start reducing that speed. Not bad, but you kind of forced yourself a little bit, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
You could hear the
Yeah.
engine struggling a bit.
Yeah, because like they were going through ETL when you were still out of ground effect.
Yeah.
All right, so do that again, but don't force yourself this time. Take your downwind down a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Trim in the bushes. Next time, when I want you to come into a hover, I want you to, face the direction, then I want you to give me some pedal turns. Probably good on altitude. You're doing your pattern work though pretty well. Like except for the last time on the trim and stuff, but you're thinking about it, you're getting your speeds up, you're maintaining control, you're not really quick and really slow, really quick and really slow.
It feels more comfortable today.
And that's the way it's gonna be. I mean, as you go and do this, I mean, it's just gonna, and you're kind of a natural, so you'll pick up on things a lot quicker. And a lot of it has to do with just being comfortable.
Yeah.
And remember, 45 degrees is just a guideline, but you can go out 45. You can go out a little bit further than 45 degrees. You just don't want to be going down to Magic Mountain to come in and do it.
Well, I know before I was level with that ridge.
So, and if you ever, from now on too, I don't want you to force it. I mean, that wasn't too bad of a force, that was alright, but I want you to also get used to just doing a going around. that's one of the things a lot of students will get hung up on is, I have to make it, I have to do this, I have to do it. No, man, you don't have to do it at that time. Unless you're out of fuel, there's no reason that you have to go, there's no reason you can't go around.
500 miles to 6 east.
Alright.
Yep. You're on it. Take us in. Nice. Start bringing back your speed. And we're a little higher this time, right? You kept climbing.
Not gonna make it.
Alright, go around. Yeah, you started off higher this time.
Yeah.
And you're already doing 65 in your base. So maybe, you know, when we're down there, we're at about 1,700. So 500 feet would be 2.2. But good choice. If you went out the same distance and we're at 2.2, you'd be much better off because you're not going to have to try to get down as so far.
Yeah.
Nice. Alright, don't go higher than 2.2. And you're doing good on looking around, looking out for other aircraft. Alright, hold this altitude a little bit, don't drop too much. We were at 500, so you dropped your, you dropped 100 feet. A little more that way for your square. There we go. See, now your altitude, since you started off though, we're about 500 feet instead of like 800 feet. You're already more set up, right?
Yeah.
Except you should have been doing 55. Slow it down more. There we go, better. And if you look at your descent rate, you're only maintaining about, you're not even exceeding coming up to 5, so that's good. You're not going over, you kind of hit it, but not really. Staying more around 300 feet per minute, which is really good. much better. Alright.
Wasn't too smooth that last bit.
Oh, what?
Wasn't too smooth that last bit. I was still.
Yeah, last little bit was alright. I mean, you came in a little short, but at least when you're a little short, you can extend it out a little bit.
Yeah.
It helps. If you have to extend it, that means you keep your airspeed up. Okay, give me a left pedal turn. Just straight to the left. Alright, when you do your pedal turns, the way the book describes it, and you're fine, but they want you to turn your head, find your next spot. You know how like when you're doing the hover, you're focused on something?
Okay, yeah.
Like you'll turn your head, you'll find your next spot, and then you'll bring the aircraft around. Give me a right pedal turn. So turn your head, find your next spot, bring the aircraft around. Another right pedal turn. Good, good.
Actually a nicer way of doing it.
Oh, what?
It's actually a nicer way of doing it.
Yes. So that way you're already kind of focused and you're bringing it around to your spot. Now give me a 180. So you're going to find your next spot, bring it around, but then find your next spot, right?
Yeah.
But try not to leave a little pause in there. Do a 180 to the left.
Actually a bit windier than I thought it was. Right. 180 did you say?
Yeah, 180 to the left. Maintaining good control, you're not letting the helicopter take away. There's really not that much wind. Good, nice. That's just the way the rotor wash is kind of coming off the plants and everything like that. Alright, set it down. I kind of wish there was a little bit of wind, because then that would make this a little bit more of a challenge.
Yeah, I haven't had a windy day.
Okay, pick it up, give me a left pedal turn. I was thinking it was going to be colder than this.
Yeah, I felt it as well.
And then do the pattern again. Different when I open the door though, huh? You can feel it.
Doesn't take much to change how this thing works, does it?
And that was just the door. Now imagine, in a close proximity to the rotor mast. Now imagine something on the tail or in the very front. Alright, on the go. $55. And don't beat yourself up over stuff like that. If you start letting it get into your head, like if I'm like 55 and you're like, fuck man, then you're just going to start thinking about it too much and you're going to start ruining your concentration. And what altitude are we going for?
About this.
Yep. So get us back down to 2.2. When we do these practices, And the day before you go through your exam, we'll come out that try to remember what the altitudes are, or try to remember this visual sight picture roughly about. I mean, if you're off like 100, you know, a little higher or something like that, not that big deal. But so that way, when you go to practice some, or when you go to do the real thing, you'll be like, okay, I know this area is about this. When we do like a pinnacle or something like that, we'll pick some that they'll usually take you to.
Is it in this area they tend to do it, or?
Yes. That's part of what going around, like the go-arounds and stuff are for too. Is like, okay, I realized I was way high when I started my final, and you know, like if you go around again, you don't have to go as high as you were.
Yeah.
Like I could bring it down 100 feet or 200 feet or so. All right, lights are out, gauges in the green, coming on in. Beautiful right here. Except if you would have started slowing down a little bit earlier. Good, good. Keep that forward speed up. Nice. Nice, that was good. Give me a right, 180 pedal turn to the right. See that bush right there?
Yeah.
Oh, keep knocking you. But like if I were doing that, I would be kind of aiming for that bush, and then as I got closer, like on my final descent, you know, as I started my final, I'd be aiming for that bush, and then as I got closer to within, you know, about 100 feet or so, then I would start moving my sight picture to where my landing spot. Because then it's always better for you to just keep a little forward momentum than to have to slow down, because you want to be able to keep that airspeed or stay out of ETL. And it's about 10 feet, you know, 10, 15 feet or whatever in front of our landing spot. So start also working on that, like start shooting for like the bush, and then if you have to, you can just extend it out a little bit further. And then just get used to practicing doing that, like you're shooting for the numbers, shoot, you know, for the line before the numbers or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay? Go ahead and turn around. And do it again.
good when you get the angle right.
Yeah, I know, huh? I mean, and that's where, you know, if you're set up from the beginning, if you're doing everything right, I mean, it makes the final part of it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Like doing the auto rotations, if you enter at a good, you know, start with a good foundation, you enter with your 65, 500 feet, or whatever number that we choose. Then it just makes the rest of the thing a lot easier to deal with. Except you're way overshooting your altitude.
Bit too efficient on that one.
Like Alan, my other student, I don't know why, but he's like, he has trouble putting that trim down and up. Like, I know it's kind of stiff, but...
Yeah. Wait, why? Man would say to treat it like a nipple a bit.
Oh, what?
Gil, sorry. He'd tell you to treat it like a nipple.
Yeah. Squeeze it real hard. Now, when you do this with the examiner, I'll tell you when we get down to the ground. This is great. And then about here is where I start moving my spot forward, or to my actual landing spot. Perfect for the bush. Now you can just take it out a little bit further. Like that was perfect for the bush.
I was probably looking at the bush for too long.
Yeah, and that spot. Then like I would just hold it out, you know, a little bit longer. Now, he may ask you when you do this. He may, if I said your downwind's a little, and just for like a more not professional, but more seasoned pilot, you know. But if he asks you about it, just go. I'm allowing myself a little bit more time to set up for my final. It's a safety thing. Nobody can question safety. It's a comfortable thing. I mean, it's not extensive. It's just a little long, but don't worry about it. If he asks you, I'm just saying, if he asks you about it, I'm allowing myself a little more time to set up for an off-airport landing or whatever. And he'll completely understand that and be glad that you made that choice instead of trying to force yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the Pico Plateau area. I think you did really well on that. And we're going to practice some settling with power. Hopefully we'll get into it. Like a lot of this stuff, you know, it's not too hard. You just got to kind of do
repetition.
it. Yeah, it's just repetition. And you just got to be familiar with what to do.
Yeah.
You know, like that whole line with the governor off. Not real hard.
Yeah.
And pretty much that's what he's going to do. He's just going to be like, okay, like if I turn it off right now, I'm going to fly with the governor off over to the Pico Plateau area. Yeah, now you're going to have to make a little more adjustments. You're climbing and stuff like that. And then after maybe a minute, he'll be like, okay, that's good enough. Governor's back on. You would have just died. Didn't lower the collective at all. You're like pulling up.
I was too busy trying to get my speed up. Didn't even know. God.
Yeah, it should be, as soon as you hear that, it doesn't matter what else you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be instantaneous reaction for you to just lower that collective.
R6, just south of Magic
We'll
Mountain
climb up.
at 2.4 westbound.
We're going to come up to 3,000 feet. 3 Victor Hotel, we're at the east end of Pico Wash area, heading towards the Pico Plateau at 1.5 and climbing. We're heading eastbound. Bring us up to 2,500 feet. Neil's going to come back and do hovering autos with you. That's probably exactly where he's going to take you. And you'll have to just see what his schedule is for the next couple days.
Yeah.
Did you see the email I sent you last night?
I have no chance to look at it yet.
Okay, no problem. No worries. Yeah, I sent it at like midnight last night, so. It's got the flight planner that I like, and you can see what the ASA one looks like inside the hangar, or I mean inside the shop. And then we'll turn around, we'll go out, go 225, go ahead and, actually go ahead and turn around right now. 23 Victor Hotel, just west of the Pico Plateau area, doing maneuvers 2,500 and below. Alright, and then I want you to bring me into an out-of-ground effect hover. It's cooler up here. Alright, so as you slow down, you're going to have to, at first, lower your collective so you aren't gaining altitude, right?
Yeah.
And then as you start to get down below 30 knots, go ahead and face more west, a little more right pedal.
Nice view today.
What?
Nice view today.
Yeah, it is. It's a, nice clear day.
Right.
So then at some point, point, you're going to have to start bringing back in that power. All right, you feel that right now?
Yeah.
Go ahead and hold that right now. Go ahead and back up a little bit. Lower the collective. That's kind of settling with power right there, those vibrations.
Yeah.
And that's the beginning of settling with power.
We'll see the altitude dropping as well.
So go ahead and push forward on the cyclic just a little bit. Lower that collective. A little bit more. There we go. Just hold that right there. As soon as you're above 20, 30 knots, start bring it back up to 20 inches, 22 inches. Those vibrations was you're getting caught up in your own vortex ring state.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and bring us back into a hover again. Yeah, just a little nose forward, and as soon as you get up above 20 knots, start raising that collective, bring it back up. Because the idea is you're practicing, if the time you're going to get into settling with power a lot of times is for stop climbing. Not there quite yet, because we have to have a descent rate of greater than 300 feet per minute. Alright, hold it. But not too bad, right? But that's what those shutters are.
Yeah.
That's you getting in this. Now go ahead and get us out of it. Alright, raising that collective, right? Bringing that up to 22. Because the idea is, when you're coming in for a landing, the ground is right there. You don't want to smack into that ground. So as soon as you get above 20 knots, but yeah, just bring it up to 22.
Yeah.
Start your climb again. One more time. And a couple more times. But we're getting a pretty decent demonstration of what it feels like to get into settling right now. Alright, don't go above 3,000. Like when you slow down, you keep climbing. You need to try to maintain altitude. Alright, we'll hold this for a little bit. See how quickly we're starting to descend? Yeah, go ahead and get us out of it. Little less nose down. Raise that collective, we're above. Raise it up, raise it up, raise it up. Okay, but not too much. Okay, this time when you start to feel it, I want you to get us out of it, okay? Alright, go ahead and get us out. There we go. Speed's not, raise it up, raise the collective. So it's almost instantaneously that you're going to be raising that collective. Because now, when that's usually going to happen, and like I said, it's on the landing, and you're only going to be maybe 50 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
You don't, and you're already dropping at 100 feet per minute, or 300 feet per minute plus, you know. Ready? 3, 2, 1, engine failure. Alright, where are you going to go? Raise the collective, raise the collective. Alright, I want you to take us down. Lower the collective. Help you lower the collective. Alright. There we go. Watch our speed a little bit, raise the collective. Alright, now turn to the right. Alright. But when you do turns, you gotta be careful about your speed, alright? Go ahead and turn back around to the left. Look at your spot, your speed, your RPM. Because we would have kind of overshot that, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the ways you help you, go ahead and go a little bit more left. Alright, we look like we're on a good glide path. Watch our speed, bring it back. You're going to have to raise the collective when you slow down. There we go, not bad. Go ahead and start our flare. And left first. Go more. And alright. one of those bushes. How was that?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were kind of, I mean, you let the...
A bit slow on the collective, I think.
Yeah. Just a little bit more aggressive on the collective. Like, you'd lower it, and it wasn't bad. Like, and then you could use maybe a little bit more of a bump.
Yeah.
But, yeah, those S-turns, you can turn around, you know. It's like, okay, there's my spot right there, you know, I want to hit it. But if I stay on this, I'm going to overshoot it.
Yeah.
So you start doing some S-turns. All right, go ahead and bring us back up to that again. You reacted a little better this time. It took you a minute to say the engine failure.
Yeah.
And he'll actually tell you at some point, I'm going to say engine failure, and I want you to react. Like, he won't roll off the throttle and have the noise horn go off or anything like that. And he's going to and it'll be at some point, and he's going to ask you, where are you going to go? And after this, we'll start heading back. Actually, we'll do one on the way back. When we get over to the Pico Plateau area, we'll do one on over there. I mean, I gotta kind of start having us head back just because of my time.
Yeah, yeah.
I still think it was a good day. You agree?
Yeah, yeah. That was good. I feel a bit more comfortable doing the landings now.
Yeah. And like I was telling you, man, as long as you, and you can get us going back as quick as possible. As long as you set yourself up good for final, I mean, it's gonna, like, if you're 300 feet above the ground, I mean, it's gonna make it a lot easier. You're not gonna be forcing yourself. You're gonna be keeping that forward airspeed going.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, if you were able to hold 30 and 300 and just kind of hold that, or 35 and 300, somewhere between 30 and 35, and just kind of hold that, that would be good.
Okay.
But, or actually, ideally, if you held 300 and these were just slowly clicking away like the seconds on the clock, you know, in reverse, obviously, but if it's just slowly going like this, that would be ideal.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be below 30 knots until you're in ground effect, or less than 300 feet per minute. And that's for that whole settling in with power type thing. Take us up to, I don't know, 2.2. And 3, 2, 1, engine failure. Yeah, it goes away quick, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Up, throw it. Lower it more. Okay, I'm gonna roll it back on. Here's Mary, go ahead and start bringing us in. Okay, you're good. Start raising that collective. You reacted good though. You got it down quick, but you saw how quickly they went down, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you go through the Robinson safety course, yeah, they'll do that. They kind of do that just to give you an idea of how little time you have.
Yeah.
One of the other ways to bring up your RPMs, if you have the speed, is pull back on the cyclic. As you go into a little bit of a flare, that'll also help bring the RPMs back up. And then once they're up, if you need to get your speed up to 65, lower that collective and then kind of push forward about, get your speed back up, but make sure you lower your collective too. Like the RPMs is the most important thing.
Yeah.
But you did good. You reacted quick. And at 44, you get a little bit more time. But it's the Robinson helicopters that are the only ones that are like that I know of. It's just because they have so little inertia in those blades.
So if you can nail it on this, you can do it in pretty much anything.
Yeah. Also, the sensitivity of the 22, it really helps you get familiar. So when you get into bigger aircraft, like an A-Star and stuff like that, or a Jet Ranger, you're already used to how the hydraulics are really. It's like going from power steering to non-power steering kind of thing. Or a lot of the other helicopters, they're more forgiving, so it's like not having power steering. So you got to work with it a little bit more. And then when you get into something with power steering, you're like, whoa, this is way too easy. Plane wreck was over this way somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes along one of these around here, they'll have flames shooting out. It's another good indication, or something else you can if you're coming through here, and if you can see it, or if they're driving along the road, you can see which way the wind is blowing.
There we go.
Yeah, directly in front of us. That's crazy. I'm not sure what it's for. Dude turns around to point on it. They burned it out a little bit and stuff. They got a couple of porta potties down there. Little tight, but good. You're better off when you do turns around the point, and then the reason that is so you're practicing looking at your landing spot off an airport. I mean, it's good to have it at about a 45-degree angle. When you start doing like a confined space or a pinnacle or something like that, you're checking your spot out, looking for what kind of ground is it? Is it grass? Is it dust? Is it snow? What are the problems that you might have with dust?
Might not be able to see.
That's called a brownout. Kind of more that direction. Yeah, it's called a brownout. What about with snow?
Whiteout?
Yeah, whiteout. Imagine that, huh? And especially if you're doing the utility type work where you're never landing at an airport. Well, not never, but you're doing a lot of off-airport landings.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stuff you got to think about. On your hovering auto rotations, I want you to read up about those tonight. Pretty much the same thing, right pedal, aft cyclic, but the only difference is you're going to be raising the collective. Okay?
That's going to play with my mind something wild.
Yes. And that's why we don't practice regular auto rotations and hovering auto rotations in the same day. Like as a CFI, you should be able to go from one to the other and have no issue with it. Alright, Stevenson Ranch, southeastbound.
23 Victor Hotel, eastbound Stevenson Ranch. 2.3.
Yeah, and it's like, it's gonna be like 3, 2, 1 engine failure. He'll roll off the throttle, and then you're gonna instantly put in your right pedal, and then a little bit of half cyclic and a little bit to the right, because then you want to maintain your hover. Basically, just maintain your hover and your heading.
Okay.
And then you're gonna wait a split second, like you're gonna be like, what is it? Pedal. Like I learned it as pedal, settle, pull. And as soon as you if you go pedal, settle, pull, then that's almost about perfect. You just have to put a little pause into the pulling part of it. Because if you pull too early, you balloon up, but then that's how much further you fall down. So you wait till it starts as you just about hit the ground, and then you pull up, and then it's not a yank, but it's a quick up, and then it cushions your landing. And it'll be kind of rough. Alright, what's our ATIS?
Traffic watch, sets up Mike, east 210 approaching to 605 at 1800.
What's our ATIS?
127.55.
Put it in. Because the pass is about where we start to enter Van Nuys airspace, or we want to give them a call, so you might have to come up about a couple hundred feet too. And just before you switch over, just make an announcement you're heading into the New Hall Pass, southbound.
23 Victor Hotel, New Hall Pass, southbound 2.5.
So that way other aircraft know you're in the area. Go ahead and switch to ATIS, because we only have one radio that we can work with.
East Van Nuys Airport, 400 feet AGL. Advises to contact you if it is information X-ray.
Climb up a little bit.
Van Nuys Airport information X-ray 165 weather, wind calm, visibility is 10. Ceiling 4,800 broken, temperature 2.12, altimeter 3001.
Put in 190.
16 right approach in use, landing and departing runway 16. Notice airman, runway 34 right reels are out of service. Runway 34 left copies are out of service. Advisory to airmen, use caution for a crane 2.38 miles east of Van Nuys Airport, 400 feet AGL. Advises to contact you if it is information X-ray.
X-ray, go ahead and switch. New Hall Pass, Balboa arrival, northwest corner with X-ray.
Van Nuys Tower, this is 23 Victor Hotel, New Hall Pass, arrival with Balboa, information X-ray.
Northwest corner.
That?
Cherokee 303
Alright, slow down.
over the flood basin, right downwind departure is approved, no higher than 2,500 feet north of the airfield. Runway 16 right, clear for takeoff.
Hold on, I got this.
And Saratoga 5 Hotel Papa, you contact SoCal departure on 134.2. Who's inbound from the pass?
Van Nuys Tower, this is helicopter 23 Victor Hotel at the New Hall Pass. Like to do Balboa arrival, northwest corner with X-ray.
Helicopter 23 Victor Hotel, Van Nuys Tower, and Balboa arrival is approved. Report to Greek Church, squawk 0257.
Greek Church.
Greek Church, 23 Victor Hotel.
And 0257.
Cherokee vehicle
Okay,
truck
good.
depart without delay, please. Traffic inside of a mile follows assessment.
Balboa came out kind of funny. Like, boo-boo.
Cherokee 431, runway 16 left, clear, touch and go.
Has to be somebody else in the area. Like on it, I sent you a
Cessna 233 Mike Echo, Van Nuys
kind of a pre-solo test.
Okay.
It's kind of extensive. Like it's one that I kind of wrote out in response with checking out other ones. It's got a lot of. It's kind of extensive. It's got a lot of good information you should know. What am I thinking? Check it out. There's a lot of references. Like in the, I put in red where you would find a lot of the answers.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead and start working on that. And I think definitely, like if you get used to working the radios, I think that's pretty much your biggest drawback. I think you can do fine on an auto rotation. I think you can do the pattern well. I think you can handle it that way. I think your flying is good. I just want to make sure you know your information, like your knowledge, your academic stuff, and then we'll have you do have you do a solo at the airport.
Okay.
Cherokee 303 Echo Foxtrot,
Like Friday at the latest, I think.
Cessna 233 Mike Echo, to comply with your class Charlie clearance.
You have your medical, right?
What's that?
You have your medical?
Yes.
Okay.
Got it last week.
Cessna 82 Sierra, Roger, standby for the pattern work. Cherokee 303 Echo Foxtrot, how do you hear? Echo Foxtrot, Roger, just recycle the transponder, still not receiving.
Seems awfully low today for...
Yeah.
Well, just because we've been up high.
Yeah. I know, like 500 feet, hardly, except you're still descending a lot, but... 500 feet doesn't seem like 500 feet to me.
When you go down to 400, it seems really close to the ground, I think.
Yeah.
Cessna 82 Sierra.
And remember, that's the airport elevation, so it's still sloped down, so, you know, maybe we are at like 400 or so. When you fly, as you're paying attention to a lot of this other stuff and stuff like that, you should also kind of start...
Helicopter 23 Victor Hotel landing at northwest corner via Chalmers, now moving area, winds variable at 4.
23 Victor Hotel, northwest corner.
23 Victor Hotel, northwest corner.
Van Nuys Helicopter, Police 10, Van Nuys, sir.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that's kind of holding you up for... It's like...
Police 10, you ready to go now? Yes, sir.
I think you'll be fine with the knowledge part. We just gotta get you used to talking, hearing what they're saying, what they're responding.
About a mile and a half north of the field for the northwest corner. Roger. You looking? Morning now, thank you. 191 Victor, on you on tower. Cessna, sorry, America. Cherokee 3 Echo Fox, I'm still not receiving your altitude. Say your altitude. 2,000, Roger. Police 10 traffic in sight. Police 10, thank you. Helicopter 23 Victor Hotel traffic departing the northwest corner. For the tracks west, there's another helicopter. They have you in sight.
Roger, looking for other traffic.
Got it.
Okay. Traffic in sight. We'll just kind of stay to the east of Balboa.
Thank you. Cessna 233 Mike Echo, contact SoCal departure.
Alright, a little bit. The east of Balboa, but don't go too far over.
262, please 10.
Not until we start getting over Home Depot. And then start setting up for your landing at home. Alright. Oh, it never came up. Go ahead and start descending. Yeah, about 1,200 over Home Depot. And then when you fly, try not to fly directly over the building. Try to fly between the buildings or around the building. Like even on takeoff, if you're going to turn to the north, just try to go between the buildings. You came in a little quick. All right, go out to the white line, make a pedal turn, follow the white line.
Cherokee 43, runway 16 left, clear, touch and go. There will be a Cessna on opposite base for the parallel runway. Cherokee,
Like bring it to a pause, make a pedal turn.
receive your altitude on your transponder.
Go down to where it says like stop on the ground up
any
there.
transponder on you at all. Free exchange approved.
We're still in not movement area, so we're okay. Get to lettering on the ground where it says speed limit, stop, and then where the big oil spot is.
This is 688 number 2 following the Cherokee ahead, runway 16 left, clear touch and go. You have the Cherokee inside.
Alright, you're looking at your new spot, you're bringing the helicopter around.
Roger, set
Take us out there.
12 o'clock, left of the
And then you know where the box, there's a box right in front of it, or a little painted on the ground?
Yeah.
Roger.
Yeah, so you're going to stop right above that box.
You're runway 16 right, clear to land.
Face us towards the sky crane. Set us down. I hope you didn't look over. Remember, turn your head to look for your new spot.
Oh, relax today.
Yeah, you're good, you're alright. Just relax. Breathe. Nice. You're doing good though. You're not going crazy, so just using your wrist movements.
Cessna 82 Sierra, you might see traffic on
I was worried I'd be hovering around the controls.
Cherokee and a Cessna.